Alright guys, what's up? New video here, and then we're back in the garage again, working on the same car that we broke, that we just rebuilt, of course, again. If you guys didn't see the last video on the second lap of clutch stickers, the car got very, very hot and it ran pretty lean. Reason being because on the line, on the fuel pressure regulator, onto the intake manifold, had like a slit in it where the clamp was, and it kind of like got worse as it came down. It was hanging on by a thread. It was off the nipple on the intake manifold, and when that happens, you lose like 40% of your mechanical fuel pressure, and it runs very lean and very hot, very fast, and it runs virtual idle and lean in boost when you're on throttle and stuff. So that is not good. And obviously, when your car runs leaner, it runs hotter, and it runs like shit. You can hurt the engine. So I'm pretty sure we hurt the engine. I'm pretty sure it is a head gasket. I'm praying to God it's nothing on the bottom end, because if it is, it's gonna suck. We gotta do a whole bunch of things, but the head gasket drop is not that big of a deal, so that's what I'm hoping for. I already started pulling off the harness off, and started getting ready to pull the head. I'm gonna do it in the car. I don't want to pull the whole engine until I know what it is. I was gonna do a leak down test to see what it exactly would be, but like either way, the engine has to come out, and either way, the head has to come off. So I figured I just want to pull it so I can see for myself and not have to deal with anything else. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna basically just pull the head off. I'm gonna do as best as I can. It's my first time ever doing it, so it's gonna be fun. But yeah, let's see what happens, and hopefully it's not what hopefully it's a head gasket. I have a good feeling that it is. This video is gonna be probably a lot of time lapses, because pulling the head on the engine is very time consuming. And yeah, so I'm praying it's the head gasket. It's probably what it seems like, but if it's worse, we got a problem. Alright, so I got most of the stuff off of the engine itself. Basically, the engine can come out exactly how it is, but I'm just going to pull the head off in the car. Make sure the engine is always at top dead center when you pull the head off the motor. And then basically, I'm going to leave the lower timing components on, and just basically take the valve covers off, hold the cam in place, and zap off the cam pulleys, so we can just put those back on after I have the pin and the tensioner on the bottom hooked in. Therefore, it can't like get out of place or anything. So first things first, valve covers off. We'll get this plate off as well, and then go from there. I'll try and time lapse it. I'm gonna do my best with that, but I was trying to get this done so we can get going and figure out what the hell is going on here. Alright, so as I'm taking the cams off, I noticed that the oil, if you can see, looks very milky. And in our case right now, that is good. Usually that's not good no matter what, but right now, with what we're looking for, that is a good sign of a blown head gasket. So that's what I'm hoping for, and no more. So, looks very milky. I haven't even drained the oil yet, but I know something's wrong in there, so we have to pull it off anyway. That's why I'm pulling it off. But yeah, looks pretty milky to me. Well, my luck has once again gone down the hole. We have melted pistons again, but this reason is different from the last reason. This is because that line on the regulator came off. It only takes a few seconds, especially if you're at high RPM flooring it, for it to melt them real quick. So basically, this one here is kind of hurt, not really melted. 2 is good, 3 is hurt, 4 is melted, 5 is 6 is melted right there, if you can see. Hang on. Melted right there. Oh man, this sucks. This is why I didn't want to do aftermarket pistons, because they're more expensive to replace. I wanted to do just stock pistons and go with that, and it's cheaper to replace that. CPs are very expensive, and you have to get the block, you know, oversized 86.5. I think the block is savable. I think it is, because there's not much material on the cylinder walls at all. Up towards the top, it's like barely anything. I'm pretty sure if I give it to the machine shop and they hot tank it and they do a slight just like rehone just to clean the cylinder walls up, I think we'll be good on that. And the good part is the block's still good. Now, if I wanted to, but I really don't want to, I could throw together another stock internal GTE GE block. I have all the parts for it. I have the engine over there, but I just don't want to do that. It's just not what I want to do. I want to have a nicer engine. I want to have it to be durable because the CP pistons are much more durable than stock. They take a lot more heat. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just at a loss for words because I'm just over this. Like I don't want to do this shit again, but I have to, and I don't know how I'm gonna win. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to stay calm. I'm very angry. It really freaking sucks. I guess now the engine has to come out, obviously. Got the head and stuff over here. I was just trying to see if I could just, you know, pull the head off and get good luck, but now it all has to come out again and be completely taken apart again for the 5th time. Hopefully Alberto's available to help me out, and machine shops can get this stuff done pretty quick. So yep, this really sucks. So I'm gonna end the video for tonight here. Tomorrow, whenever I pick this video back up, by pulling the motor again. I'm sorry, it's the same freaking content you guys have seen 6 times now. Let me know if you want to see it again. I might not even film it. I just want to kind of just get it done and get it over with and just fix it and be done with it. I'm over filming the same thing. So, sucks, guys. It really sucks. I'm not putting LS in the car. It's not going to fucking change anything. We had one very stupid failure that literally did. I talked to my tuner, and he's like, yeah, the second that line comes off, it takes very, 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 very little time, like milliseconds, for it to kill those pistons. So, yeah, we'll get back to you guys soon. And once again, there's no engine in the car. I have it all pulled out here, and I'm tired. Done for the night. It's out. Tomorrow I'll pull the rest of it apart. I have a plan, so I have new pistons on the way. The exact same pistons, exact same compression, exact same size. I have the machine shop ready to go for me to hot tank it and hone the cylinder walls. I'm not going bigger. We're just going to do a very, 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 very just small, minimal cleanup. In the hot tank, I'm pretty sure the small amount of material that are on the cylinder walls will come right off. It's not like last time. This is very, very, very minor. And they're aftermarket pistons, and they take heat a lot better, so they don't like explode. They kind of melt, but like only in small little areas. So, oh my god, I'm so tired of this. Yeah, so that's that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all AN lines for the FPR, and then I'll probably get a new fuel pressure regulator as well. And we're gonna only have fuel pressure monitored through the fuel pressure sensor to the ECU, so we can have fail safes on for that. So anything happens again, we will not deal with this, and we won't deal with it again anyway, because we're going to go to AN line and no more shitty normal rubber lines. So it'll be impossible for that thing to like break or come off unless some idiot leaves it loose, basically. But oh my god, I'm doing this all over again. I'm not going to film every inch of it. I'm going to film certain parts of it. Got everything all separated. It's a mess. The oil looks fine. The material, there's not much material in the oil. That's good. So I might not have to replace anything other than the engine or the piston. Sorry. I'm going to clean everything, obviously, clean the oil cooler, clean the oil pump, all that kind of stuff. If it was bearing material or anything like that, I would replace everything, but right now it looks pretty good. The head's pretty good as well. There's no damage to the head, thank God. But other than that, all we really got to do is basically break the engine down, bring the block to the machine shop, have them clean it up, bring it back, do ring gap on the pistons, and rebuild the engine and put it back in the car. That's what I'm hoping to do. That's what we're going to do. That's what we have planned to do. And that is that. So, yep. Alright guys, what's up? So it's a few weeks later. I was really frustrated before. I just kind of just said, I'm going to stop filming, get it all figured out, and come back to you guys once everything's figured out and ready to go. So, it's like 2 to 3 weeks later. Well, yeah, like 2 weeks later, and I got this stuff taken care of pretty quick, and I'm very stoked about that. Got the block and the head to the machine shop, got the head decked, cleaned, got the engine rehoned and cleaned as well, and ready to go. Got it done pretty quick. That's always good. Machine work usually takes a long time, but we got it done pretty fast. So now we have to build the new engine. It's the same engine, just different internals. So basically, we upgraded some stuff. All right, so we have some actual really good rods. So we're doing the Run BC 265 plus rods. I was not going to run aftermarket rods because of budget, but I went to inspect my parts the other day to bring them here to have a better build of the engine, and I'm looking at the rods, and on cylinder 6 the rod looked a little bent. I put a picture right here so you guys can see. As you guys can see right here, the rod is like a little bit tweaked, and I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, but in reality it wasn't. So those rods were bent. I could have for sure put stock rods back in, but with my luck lately, I'm not risking it. So Brian Crower and Real Street Performance hooked it up with some Run BC 265 plus rods. These are like what, like 1400 horsepower, Alberto? Yeah, like 1400 horsepower capable rods, like the best you can get. Very strong. Stock rods are like that big compared to these compared to these rods. These are very strong. I have these in my built 1J block, and if you break these, you got a problem. I'm pretty sure.
You broke some of those.
I never broke one of these.
You burned it.
I burned it because it's fun of bearing because people know what they're doing, but whatever.
Was it reusable?
No.
So you broke it.
Yes, I got a replacement though, so whatever. But I sold those. Anyway, now we have 2 JC bottom end. We have the same CP pistons, stock compression with the Run BC 265 plus rods. We did go ahead and do new ACL bearings, so same bearings as before, just brand new. The other ones weren't bad, but they were just, definitely reusable. But like, again, a bearing is such an important / cheap thing to do, so I just went ahead and replaced them. And yeah, so basically we're doing the same exact engine setup, but with BC rods now, and then the same CP pistons and new bearings and all that kind of stuff. But everything's basically ready to go. Got the block here all honed out, all good. And the heads over there all cleaned and decked as well. And all the parts are here ready to go. And all we got to do now is start assembling this motor. Alberto's going to get to it. I'm going to watch because I can't really do much. I'll just watch and learn, help when I can. And then we'll get to getting this thing back in the car. So we do have about literally a month from Clutch Stickers round 2. We have plenty of time to get it in the car and rebuilt, but I do have some spare time to, I could do this later, but like it's never good to wait till last minute. I want to get this thing done, dusted, and ready to go back in the car weeks before so we can go test and make sure everything's good and just be ready to go. But the best part about this engine now with these rods in this setup is that this thing is way overbuilt for what the horsepower I'm going to be pushing. So that's always a good thing. We will be wiring a fuel pressure sensor into the car with a fail-safe and everything like that. All fail-safes will be on. I don't care. I don't care if I crash. I don't care what's going to happen at this point. I just want to save the motor, God forbid if anything were to happen. So we do have AN lines coming in to replace all the old vacuum lines. So they'll actually be fittings and very tight and they won't come loose or tear. But all in all, we are ready to go to get this thing back in the car. So let's get to it, getting this new Run BC engine built. Alright, so on the previous engine we did run a Run BC head gasket, and they're fine, but like OEM Toyota just like always takes the win on that. Like the OEM head gaskets are pretty stellar for like over 1,000 horsepower, and they look really, really good. Like they are thicker, better gas ports, and I think OEM is always the way to go. Last time we didn't have anything else, but this time I'm going with Toyota OEM head gasket on the new 1.5 JZ. Alright, OEM going on. Here you go. What are you? We're indoors. Why do you have sunglasses on?
Where's the BC gasket?
We're not using the BC gasket. We're using the OEM gasket.
Why not?
It's better. Way better.
It works the same.
No, it does not. OEM's always better.
We'll be right back, guys.
Boom. That looks so good. Oh yeah. Alright, header's torqued on with the L19 ARP head studs to 100 foot-pounds. And now it's time to get the cams in there and all the front timing components, time the motor, oil pan, and I think we're done. If you guys didn't know, I do have stock cams in here, sadly, because it's just the way it is right now. They're really expensive, and hopefully in a few months we'll get some cams in there and a bigger turbo. But now you're basically almost a fully built bottom end other than the main caps. But this engine's probably good for like, I mean, if you don't care about your main caps, probably 800 horsepower, but the rods are rated 1400 horsepower. But I probably won't push this past like 700, 750, I would say. You agree? You speak English, sir? No? It's the same thing you got in there. You got 850 in your car, right? 900.
Yeah, but I'm running 2JC head.
Still can make that power.
272 cams.
Right.
Dual springs and
I got springs retainers.
Retainers.
Same thing.
It's not
same
the,
thing.
It's not the same.
I know it's not the same,
And
but it'll be
then
fun.
I also have a bigger turbo.
We'll get to there, but I'm saying the bottom end is capable of a lot of horsepower now.
I send that a little bit harder.
Oh, okay.
Go
All
right
right.
to the limiter.
Yeah.
You know, if I run next to Shulman, it's gonna be
No,
it's
no.
gonna look like Von Gooden Jr. against Matt Field all over again.
You mean Denofa?
Then oh my God, yeah. Denofa.
Yeah, Denofa kind of ran Matt Field out into last weekend. That was pretty good.
Against Matt Field.
But anyway, yeah, this engine is capable of much more horsepower than before. I'll be way less stressed driving this. I'll drive much harder and won't have any worries compared to stock rods. So stock rods can hold plenty of power, but like I'd rather just, you know, have better rods. What are you in the mood? He can't even hold his mouth straight. Alright, so we're back home with the new 1.5 JZ with Run BC rods, CP pistons, and I'm just very glad to have those, you know, those rods in there. It's a big security for the motor to handle some power and be much more reliable. And but yeah, we're home, safe and sound, got it right here. But I want to do one more thing before I call it a night, and tomorrow we'll finish the assembly of the components and then put the engine in the car. So we have this 1.5 JZ freshly built right here, and I kind of want to put a cherry on top of this thing. So basically, Fish Racing has a new product they released, and it's really cool. It's very simple, but it adds a very nice touch. Alright, so we're gonna say goodbye to this old rinky-dink plain black oil cap, and we're gonna grab the brand new Fish Racing billet aluminum oil cap. Boom! This thing is super sick, polished billet aluminum. Let's see how it looks on the engine itself. Probably nice and fresh and nice snug tight fit. Oh, that looks dope. I love it. A little extra pizzazz to the motor. I like it a lot. So go get one below. I'll put one in the link in the description below. They're really cheap and adds a nice touch to your 1J or 2JZ. Looks really good. All engraved in billet aluminum. But yeah, super stoked on that. No more black OEM kind of cap. We'll keep that for future things, but I think that looks super sick. Alright, it's the next day. It's very hot in Florida today. The summer is here and it is freaking hot. But other than that, we have lots of work to do in the car. So basically all we gotta do now is get the turbo on, intake manifold on, all the other accessories, clutch and bell housing, throw it on the motor, and then get it in the car and continue on from there. But before we do any of that, I'm gonna get the turbo on first. We're gonna drill and tap our intake manifold for our new dash 4AN vac line going from the regulator to the intake manifold, so you have no more issues with any normal lines tearing or coming off. So now we are converting all vac lines to dash 4AN. So you live and learn. Sometimes it's the hard way, and I learned the hard way, but like even most people don't really run dash 4AN or dash 3AN for vac lines. They have a normal silicone line like I had, and they're fine, but I just had that stupid luck. But I don't care. It's not that much work. I got all the fittings here to convert that to dash 4AN, and that's what we're gonna do. So if you see right here, usually there's a normal barb fitting that goes onto a normal silicone hose, but now I found the 1/16 NPT fitting to dash 4 to a 90 here, and we'll run this fitting to the intake manifold. That'll be somewhere around here. So now that vac line will be AN. I also got metal stainless steel braided for all the wastegate lines and all that kind of stuff. So now all that will be safe. That stuff is perfectly fine, but I figured why not? Let's upgrade that, and I'll probably do that later on. But for now, we'll get the engine sorted in the car and then continue on from there. Now, you guys have seen me and Alberto build these things probably 2-3 times now, and I'm just tired of filming it, so I'm just gonna get it done, over with, get it in the car and move on. You guys have already seen us do this multiple times, and I'm not gonna bore you guys, but I want to give you guys something. So but I know I haven't been filming much the past few weeks, so getting this stuff done and FD, and I was really sick, so now we're getting back into the groove of things, and we have about a month until Clutch Triggers round 2. So it's going pretty good. Engine's ready to go in basically, and then yeah, accessories, turbo, intake manifold, and ready to go in. But while we're on the topic of engines, everybody keeps, you know, bitching at me and telling me all this stuff and making fun of me blowing up so many engines and JZs suck, go LS, change platforms, this and that. You guys have any idea how much money it would cost to build a proper LS? I'm not gonna put a Junkyard 5.3 in the car. I don't care how reliable it is. It's not my style, it's not my thing, and it's just not it. Now, if we're talking like a $50,000, $30,000 Texas speed motor, that's different. But I'm not gonna do a V8. I can't afford that. I have to change all the wiring, all the components, sell all this stuff, get the money. It just would not work, and it's just not me. I don't want to do a V8. I don't want to do LS. I don't want to do any of that. I'll always say JZ. JZ's the best. But again, it's not an engine issue. It's a support issue, like a vacuum line coming off, bad wiring, something like that, bad fuel, or something in that small gray area of stuff that can cause catastrophic failures. So, for you guys that are inexperienced and don't understand, it costs way too much money to do a whole other platform that I probably won't enjoy, and I'd rather just, you know, go through it and get this JZ platform to its fullest and find out what works and what doesn't. And I've pretty much found out at this point, and I know it works, so it will work fine. It will be fine. It's not going anywhere. So yeah, but it's a whole thing. You guys constantly bother me about it, but it's okay. JZ is forever staying. It's just my style. I love the noises. I would rather break a few of these than go put a Junkyard 5.3 in the car. I don't care. I will never change my mind. It's just how it is. Engine is back in, and the intake manifold is still off because I was over here drilling and tapping the intake manifold right here for the dash 4 vacuum line fitting we're going to put onto here. So I could not get it to start the thread. So tomorrow I'm going to bring this to my buddy's shop, and he has a press there, and we'll be able to get it in there much more snug and actually thread this or weld a bung onto this, which I don't want to do because then it'll mess up all the powder coating. But we'll see. Other than that, we'll put this on it while the engine's in the car, obviously, and then we'll be good to go. But other than that, it's going pretty good. Trans just got put in, and then I'm going to finish up everything I possibly can other than the harness and the intake manifold, and we'll come back tomorrow with the intake manifold tapped with the fitting in there, put it in the car, run all the lines, run the harness, and start this thing up. But yeah, I've done this so many times now, and it's like a big puzzle, and it's really easy. So should be good to go pretty soon. Once it's in, we will start it up, drive it around, and be good to go. That'll probably be in a day or two once we get everything done and finished. But I'm not gonna bore you guys every single detail of putting this thing together, because it's just the same thing I've done the past 3 times I've done this. So yeah, but it's going good so far. Alright guys, so we are at the final steps of starting this engine, but of course one thing has to hold us back, and that is the alternator plug that goes into the alternator on the harness. It was an older harness, but the plugs got kind of, well, the wires got kind of crusty, and it basically, like, I went to plug it in, I went to plug it, and it literally just like broke, and I'm like, great. So I'm trying to depin it, and it's so old, the little rubber things in the plug will not come out. I'm going to break the plug if I continue to try and break it. So I Amazon overnighted a new plug with flying leads to wire into the current harness to plug in tomorrow. So now I literally can't start the car because of that. But now it is all done and ready to go. We are ready to start this thing if we had that alternator plug. As you can see right here, they got kind of, you know, toasted, and not toasted, just old and dry, so that's never good. But I did do the most important thing of this whole entire rebuild, is now we have a dash 4 vacuum line. We tapped the intake manifold earlier today to a 1/8 MPT to dash 4, and then a 1/16 MPT to dash 4 here off the regulator. So now this vacuum line is dash 4, and it will not break, it will not come loose, it will not come off, it will not have that crazy stupid issue that caused us this whole entire thing. So that is done. Still running a normal vac line for the blow-off valve, normal line for the ECU, but there's clamps and zip ties on here, as you guys can see, so nothing to worry about there. But other than that, we are ready. Oil's in the car, no coolant yet. Intake pipe is right here, but I gave Ricky Hoffman my filter, and I ordered a new one, but it's not here yet. And then once that is in, everything else is officially in. Trans is in, dog box, exhaust, drive shaft, everything's tight and ready to go. Literally, of course, the literal last step is that plug holding us back. So that's annoying. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. So we'll be back in 1 second. And once it's tomorrow, we'll wire it up, plug it in, and start the new 1BC built 1.5 JZ. Alright guys, this next day, got the new sensor all wired in on the alternator, so we are officially ready to go. Got some water and water wetter ready to be bled on the motor. I'm going to crank it over with the crank sensor unplugged, get some oil pressure going to prime the motor, so we have correct oil pressure for the first startup. If you guys ever have a new engine, you always want to prime the system, as in what I do, I fill the oil cooler with fresh oil, unplug the crank sensor with a fuel pump, something like that, and just crank and crank and crank and crank till you see oil pressure on the dash. Once you have some oil pressure, you'll be good to go, so you don't dry start the motor. Either way, there is assembly lube, but just to be safe, I always like to pre-crank it, create some oil pressure, get everything kind of lubed up, ready to go for the first fire. So let's get to it. First fire of the now 1BC built 1.5 JZ in the S13. Hopefully no more issues. We're gonna go over the tune and the map as well, make sure everything's good tomorrow, but tonight will be the first startup since the other engine went. So very excited, anxious, all the above. You know the feeling, but let's get to it. So of course the battery's like really dead and it's not cranking the best, so we'll let it charge for a bit. If it doesn't start tonight, we'll start it in the morning, but probably start tonight. If not, do it in the morning. I have to wait another night, of course, but we'll see. Alright, so it's the next day. The battery was dead last night, but I did just crank it up with the crank sensor unplugged, and we got plenty of oil pressure, so I'm going to plug the sensor in and then go for it and start her up. Camera died on the iPhone now, but it's running pretty good. Gonna let it get up the temp, jack it up, see the highest point, bleed the coolant, it should be good. Then check oil, but it sounds great so far, very happy with it. Once we get that bled, we should be good to go. All the other stuff with my oily hands and stuff, running off the exhaust manifold right now. You can see a little bit of smoke coming up, but that's normal. But other than that, sounds pretty healthy to me. Everything's good so far. Letting it bleed out and get a little warm, get the first heat cycle through there. And then we should be good to go after that, go for a quick drive, and then be good. Alright, so the car is all done. Engine sounds great, oil pressure's great, no leaks, everything's looking great. But we do have a few more things we have to do to the car before the next event, which is the test day this Sunday. And we have to wire in the fuel pressure sensor so we can have fuel pressure on the dash, and we can monitor that and have fail-safes for that so there's no issues ever again. Other than that, it seems pretty good. Same stuff as always, so I can't really do much other stuff because you guys have seen it 6,000 times now. So, but yeah, engine's good. It's in the car, running. We're back. Got this thing fixed pretty fast. I think 3 weeks was tear down, machine shop, ordering parts, rebuild, like all the above. So it definitely came together really fast, and that's always the goal, to not be last minute. We still have like 3.5 weeks till Clutch Kickers round 2, so it's coming pretty quick. I didn't film it, but I did install the fuel pressure sensor, and now we have that in and wired into the ECU from the regulator right here. Into ECU, all fail-safes are on to where the car leans out with a certain amount of boost, or it leans out way too much. It'll completely kill the car and basically put it into like a limp mode, so there's no catastrophes like before. So now with that if we would have had that before, the engine would have been saved. I never had electronic fuel pressure sensor, but now we do. You live and learn, and when you learn from, you know, small things that could cause you big issues, you definitely want to fix those before you go on to the next very expensive engine. The failsafe is on, like I said, it is on for sure. Every failsafe is on that we can do possible, and we are ready to go test. But this weekend I was supposed to test on Sunday, but now of course Florida's like, screw you, we're gonna have tropical storm out of nowhere, and we might not test, we don't know it yet, we're playing it by ear, but it could be really bad. They canceled Pro-Am, so hopefully they don't cancel my private day so I can go drive this thing and have some fun. But if we don't get to test, we don't test, we'll test later on. But I have a busy few weeks with FD and things like that, and a whole bunch of stuff in the next coming few weeks. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, this video is over. We had the brand new built Run BC 1.5JZ in the car. All the new stuff that's going to protect the engine, not have any more issues. The engine was so good before, but that vac line popped off. We lost the motor, caused us all these stupid, annoying, expensive, stressful issues. And now the fail-safes are on, dash 4 line, BC rods. We have a stronger engine now, and we will be ready to go for round 2 of Clutch Kickers. I'm going to go drive this thing on the block, make sure it's all good. But that is it. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys very soon.